What's up, YouTube? It's Biblical Truther. I have been away for a very long time, but I am quite busy these days. But my wife just sent me an article from the People's Voice. I don't know if she's seen it on Twitter or whatnot, but let me read some of this article to you. So this is the article, the People's Voice. 194 WHO countries agreed to arrest citizens who oppose bird flu vaccine. Media blackout. And there's that lovely, not a doctor guy. 194 World Health Organization member states have agreed to begin arresting and prosecuting citizens who speak out against the bird flu vaccine, as part of tough new measures designed to stomp out so-called misinformation. That's funny that they would word it that way, to stomp out so-called. Not that it is, but it's so-called. So, I guess we'll be in the same situation as we was a few years back. The World Health Assembly this week adopted amendments to the controversial international health regulations without any fanfare from the mainstream media. These amendments abolish the national sovereignty of countries, grant the WHO sweeping powers to pass laws in Western nations, and criminalize speech who the WHO says undermines the official narrative. So they're going to be focusing on the Western nations. But I like how they put on there that they're gonna abolish national sovereignty. So are we in a one world situation already? I would tend to think so. So I had to go back and reread this. I'm not gonna read that, but you can see what is being implied there. And then exposednews.com reports the following are brief descriptions of articles, podcasts, and press conferences from various sources in recent days. Some of the concerns are the agreement for governments to address, quote unquote, address misinformation and disinformation, and the wording that further strengthens surveillance, thus laying the groundwork for the surveil, declare, threat, lockdown, coerced, mass, jab approach. Well, that's a lot of word salad, but it also sounds pretty threatening, right? That's my place there. It is important to note that countries have 10 months to reserve or reject provisions, except those countries which rejected the 2022 amendments and so have 18 months. We must therefore keep raising awareness and put pressure on our governments to reject the amendments before the end of March 2025. So that's kind of a timeline, I guess, if that's what they're threatening countries with. That's kind of a timeline where all this craziness will start once again, right? So for those of you who have been following me for years, I did a video more than 3 years ago, and I'll put a link in the description, but I think it was titled Alert, the Next Thing Coming. You should check that video out, because I think I was talking about some things I may not be able to talk about now, if this is the case with this new jab that they're trying to come out with, they're going to come out with. But in that video, I talked about a movie that was on, I want to say it was Amazon, but now it's on IMDb, called SARS 29 or SARS 2029. If you haven't watched that movie, you should definitely check it out. It came out in 2020, right at the start of the, the one-niner. And it was basically talking about how they were going to jab up some people, but not enough people took it. So in 2025, something else was going around that caused another round of these jabs, but of a different type, to take place. And in this movie, it said that 4 billion people died behind this pandemic. But what's even more curious for this to come out exactly right now, so I went and took a screenshot of the video, and this is it right here. Now if you notice in the bottom left hand corner, I circled how many views that video had just now when I went and looked back to see how long ago it was that I made that video. And wouldn't you know, it has 201 views. You guys know exactly what 201 is, right? You know, that event that they had before the 19 thing started, the tabletop exercise of the World Health people. I don't want to spell it all the way out because I think we're going to be hit with another round of censorship here soon. But yeah, what do you guys think about this? Because in that movie, it started in 2021. Then in 2025, it came around again. They had to do it again. And by 2029, there was very few people left in the world. So most people who weren't awake then that are now kind of don't too much trust the solution that they had before, but most of them already got it. Some of them didn't. But if this thing starts happening, if there's a new sickness circulating the realm here that we live in, it would line up exactly with that movie. And I think that's just way more than a coinkydink, coincidence that video has 201 views. That's just what I see when I start looking into things as a confirmation. So just be ready for anything, because if they're making these type of headlines now and nobody's talking about it, then just the fact that video I did has 201 views kind of cements it that it's fixing to go down. So
stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints,